Little black book. You know what time it is. 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 Time it is.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you lean? Listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, and click that subscribe, baby. And for those of you who are returnees, baby, you ain't got the minerals, baby. You ain't mad. Are you mad? Are you lean? Choo! You get me? Trust me, it wasn't me. It's my fault that I did what I had to do. So we're dropping a part 2 or part 3, whatever you want to call it, of our video where we're talking to you guys about celibacy and abstaining. So part 3 of our talk here it's called "It Is My Fault." So I want to bring you, make sure you grab your popcorn, grab your notepad and pen. Listen, get ready to chow, baby, because we're going to be talking about some real things. So, in the last episode, I spoke to you guys about the day that I gave up sex. We're now going to talk about a little bit beyond that point, because we're going to work ourselves back. During the period of when I was fornicating, there was situations where, number one, I call it my fault because I knew better. One of the things that God had really been trying to speak to me about in that leading up to that time when I gave up sex, when I gave up sex, etc., was that God had been talking to me about me. And I want to open this door up for you guys. How many times, or how many times you know, or you can feel it, or you know it, where God is speaking to you and saying, listen, it's time to give it up. Right? And that was my position. I didn't know. I heard God's voice. I knew He was telling me, give it up, break away, stop doing it. And when I say stop doing it, it's not like He's saying like that, but He's like, listen, son, this is not conducive for you. You know, this is not where you want to be. And I don't want to be. I don't want to be where you are, dwelling in your presence. I want to be feasting at your table, surrounded by your glory. In your presence, that is where I always want to be. Yeah. I just want to be. So I want to be in His presence. I want to be able to be with Him, etc. But I was unable to do it because it was my fault. Because why? I wasn't dealing with what I needed to deal with. And you see, the root cause of this fornication is not understanding why you're doing what you're doing. So I had to deep it. What was sex for me? It was a form of unification for me. It was the closest connection I could get to the other woman. It was a way of having intimacy that I really wanted. I appreciated the desire. I wanted to please her. I wanted her to climax too. Let's keep it 100. I wanted her to climax so she can enjoy the sex too. Because out of that, I get pleasure. I get pleasure the fact that you're pleasured. Do you understand? Let's keep it 100. So all of that was playing a part in the reason why I entered into the sex fold of things. Even though I knew that I shouldn't be there. And one of the things I will say is this. You may think that I love you, so having sex before it's time is a show of love. It's actually a show of impatience. And if you can't be patient now, what makes you think you're going to be patient when you're married? If you're unable to respond to what God is saying to you now, what makes you think when God is speaking to you about your wife or your husband, in the future you're going to respond when you couldn't do it now? When He's telling you not to get into a place where you're having sex with an individual person, you can't do it. What makes you think when you get to the future and we're married, it's going to stop? Things get progressively worse. That's the second law of whatever it's called, isn't it? But things progressively often get worse. So this is going to continue and get particularly worse. So you need to be in a place where you're able to hear God and actually change your behavior. But I couldn't. Because I was so selfish in the sense of it was all about me. It was all about what I wanted. I wanted to feel this way. I wanted the sex. I wanted to be wanted and desired physically. And because of that, I was unable to resist her advances, and she was unable to resist my advances, because we're trying to please each other and we're trying to love each other, but we're moving God out of the way. And it becomes selfish. Right? Also, I was mature in the faith, but at that point I was a good 4 years in, and I consider myself to be a mature individual. Somebody who hears God, somebody who understands what God is saying. And because I could do those things, because I could have that maturity there in hearing and doing things of God, I was confused as to what am I doing? I have to take responsibility here. Look, regardless if the woman keeps moving to me, I've got to be strong and say, listen, darling, that's not how I'm moving. Relax. But I couldn't, because I just as much wanted the same thing, because I just as much didn't understand myself. I wasn't understanding what's making me do this. I know lust is there, but what's it tapping into? What emotion is it tapping into? What past experience is it tapping into? What feeling is it tapping into that's making me want to do things? Because you'll notice something. Masturbation, pornography, fornication comes when you're feeling a certain emotion. Loneliness. Yeah? Like you're feeling like you're all alone. A bit like Elijah. When Elijah felt like he was all alone, what did he want to do? He wanted to, Lord, just kill me now. He felt alone. Right? There's a sense of loneliness. There's a sense of, I might not, we might not, we're going to get married anyway. What does that mean? Oh, we've been boyfriend together for so long, it won't hurt to have sex. Does God really frown against sex before marriage? Like, what's the big deal? We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Those are different excuses that start to come out, right? That's the reason why you're not maturing and saying that this is not the right thing to do. And that's what I was doing myself. And even when we're having sex after that, I would then start to take on the blame. I would start saying, look, do you know what, it's my fault. And as we're having a conversation, like, why are you saying it's your fault? It takes two to tango. I'm like, yeah, but still, I know better. I know I shouldn't be doing this and blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, I'm saying all this, but I'm still diving in every time. So every time every time it happens, I'm like, I feel guilty, I shouldn't do it. And then I dive right back in again. Now, what signal am I sending to the other partner then? I keep saying I shouldn't be doing it, but then I keep doing it. What real signal am I sending? You see, this real divine love for somebody here is able to also, it comes out of being disciplined. Do you understand? And because I couldn't be disciplined with myself, I'm not showing restraint with her. And in a sense, what I'm actually saying is, I refuse to pattern up. So it was my fault. I was like, no, this is my fault. I need to pattern up. I know God has told me this. If I had listened to God, I wouldn't be here. I was blaming myself. Then after that, because you're doing it so much, your mind becomes reprobate. When I say that, it means your mind becomes seared and you stop calling it bad. And then you start saying, what is the problem with if I do it? It got to a point in the stage where we were doing it so much, I would come to the yard and just like, I wouldn't even fight the urge anymore. I want to do it. I've come there to do it. I've come that in mind that it's going to happen. Do you get it? So I knew already this is gonna happen because I've come there with a mindset like that. Appalling. What's wrong with me? And I know some of you are asking yourself the same thing, saying you know better, you know that you should be doing better. Why do I keep doing what I'm doing? We need to decipher that. We need to unearth that. What's happening in your childhood, especially because most of it comes from our childhood. And for me, let me just be very frank. I've always been a person that I guess suffers from not having as much attention as I thought I wanted, right? But then I've been very quite astute from a young age to go, do you know what, there's a reason why I don't get the attention. I've got younger siblings, they need more attention than I do. Don't complain, just get on with it. You know what I'm saying? And I've always had that mindset. Oh, there's a reason why they do that. Let me stop complaining. And I never put myself first. I end up putting other people first. And what then happens is a form of selfishness starts to breathe in you and it comes out eventually. Because all you've been doing is sweep it under the carpet. Oh, don't worry about it. I don't need that. I don't need anyone to take care of me. I'm prideful. I've got this. No, that's fine. I'll make it do it. And after a while, you begin to break. And when you do, these behavior types start to happen. Because there was a form of pride. No, I got it. You ain't got it. That's where mine was coming from. And it was interesting because obviously once me and the girl obviously would have conversations after sex, and she'd be like, do you blame me? And I'll be like, no, not really, I don't blame you. Because obviously what was happening is, even though I was blaming myself, I then start distancing myself from her as soon as that happens. So I was not reading the signals. I was thinking to myself, fam, does she not get it? I want to be able to get myself back with God. I need to consecrate myself again and just get myself back in the zone. But she's seen it as, well, we're having sex and he's rejecting me. And I'm not seeing it like that, because I'm looking at it like, fam, no, why would I keep having sex and I'm rejecting you? But I'm not seeing it that way. So she took it on as if I'm blaming her. And I wasn't. I was blaming me. I was the one that was moving mad. Do you know what I'm saying? But I also didn't realize it is taking two to tango. So by me taking responsibility, yes, The responsibility should be an action of, look, we're not doing this. But when I take responsibility in terms of, oh, we've fallen, and I go, yeah, it's my fault, I may think I'm absolving her of blame, but actually what I'm doing is actually making it worse. Because actually what I'm saying is that she didn't have a part to play in this at all. That she didn't have no free will to this. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's not the case. Both parties were present, consensual to the issue. And so I actually belittle her by saying, oh, it's my fault, I knew I should have never done this. No, we've done this. I'm not a teacher and she's a student. We are boyfriend and girlfriend. So I didn't realize that at the time. I was just thinking about myself and thinking about how I felt and not really understanding how this is really affecting her as well at the same time. And that's why I keep saying to you, sex before its time will cause issues. If you love God, yeah, this is going to cause issues. Because you're going to want to please God, but every time you fall into the fornication, you can't please Him. And you know that you can't please Him. By the grace of God, we thank God that He's a graceful God though, and He's merciful. Yeah, for me, it was a case of just like, I had to come to a place where I said, it's not just my fault, but I must also take responsibility for my own behavior. And I must seek a change. And that's where I guess the day that where I gave up sex came into play, because I started to realize for myself, right, this is mad. I need to stop what I'm doing. And we got there eventually. You get me? Now we're 24 months, 25 months in, baby. You get me? But yeah, guys, that's part 2 of our story. We're gonna drop part 3. Talk about, obviously, I blame you. So yeah, guys, stay locked, stay loaded. And we'll see you again soon. Appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. And you ain't got the minerals, baby. Appreciate you, man.